Hi, welcome to an episode of Cocktail Hour with your host, your favorite host, Pablo Martinez. I'm here with the beautiful Natalie. Did I say that correctly?
You did.
Thank you so much. And this is our first episode, so we're really excited. And we've named it Cocktail Hour because we actually do have a little bit of a cocktail. So we'll do a little toast to honor the
Cheers.
first episode.
Cheers.
Cheers. And moving on with my introduction, Natalie is with Goosehead Insurance Company, and I want to take this moment just to talk with her and learn more about her and how she can help us loan officers with our business. So, uh, go ahead and share with us how you got into the business, maybe.
Okay, sure. Hi, my name is Nathalie Molina. I'm a broker with Goosehead Insurance. I've been doing this for about a year and a half now. And the way that I got into it was I had a very good friend by the name of Nick Ramirez who opened up his agency. And he just randomly, out of the blue, asked me if I was interested in being an agent. And I wasn't working at that time. And I thought, it would be a great opportunity to get back into the working field. And so, yeah, and that's how I'm here.
Awesome,
Yeah.
thank you. And I know I met you, and I met you actually at our company Christmas event, and
Yes, which was great.
one of the things that really stood out for me from you was your energy, and that's really important in this industry because you want to make people feel comfortable that you're there to help, and you seem eager. And from there on, we started talking, and I feel like you'd be a huge asset to a lot of our loan officers and in the products that you can bring. And we are familiar with Goosehead.
Okay.
We've heard the company. It's a pretty big company. What's the story behind Goosehead? Because they seem just to be blowing up.
Oh my God, yes. They are. So they actually started in Texas. And the great thing about Goosehead is that it was built from the ground up to service lenders and realtors.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Specifically? Oh,
specifically.
wow. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's the majority of the business that we get are from lenders and realtors, more so than just clients calling in. And so, yeah, so basically we were built to work with you guys. And so, but Goosehead has been started in Texas. They're huge in Texas. Everyone in Texas knows who Goosehead is. They've expanded and now they're all over the country. We have agents in every single state. In California, we have a ton of agencies. I don't know exactly how many, but
It's a
we're
lot.
becoming very popular. We are. And so I think we're actually one of a kind. We have a very specific structure. Like I said, we work with lenders and realtors. And we started this program actually where it's a rater, right? So whenever we get a property, we insert the information of the property and then we get a rating as to like what carriers are willing to look at the applications for, and it's in order based on price, right? So that's how we shop for our clients or for you guys. And basically, the first carrier that comes up is the least expensive. And all of the carriers that we work with are all A-rated carriers. Like I said, since we work with lenders and realtors, you guys need A-rated carriers to close your deals. And so all of the carriers that we work with are going to be a good option. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I really like the fact that you guys are brokers because Equity Smart in essence is a brokerage also. And
Yeah.
part of what we do is we shop different lenders and
Yeah.
banks for different programs for our
Ex-
for our borrowers.
Exactly.
And there's just power in that because you're not stuck with one company and one set of guidelines and rules. If someone can't do something, then maybe over here they can do it. So I think we really enjoy that model, and I think we understand there's strength in you
Yes.
being able to go to different carriers, right?
Of
And try to
course.
get different quotes and maybe better terms.
Exactly.
So that's great. I think that's a huge plus for all of us. What is your strength? Like, if I'm looking to work with a new insurance partner, what is your
Sure.
brand? What do you bring to the table?
Absolutely. Efficiency. I know that your focus is closing your deal, right? So that's going to be my focus. I want to help you close your deal. I don't want you to worry about insurance at all whatsoever. We actually have a link, and it's lowquote.com, quote, the way you spell it.com. And it's something that we use for loan officers, basically. So I will send you that link. And it's just the one interaction that you will have with me. It's like, here's all the information. You give me the borrower's information, the property's information, what kind of insurance you need, and we take over from there. Like I said, efficiency, for the most part, if we don't have any issues with underwriting when it comes to the property, we can get you same-day quotes. If something falls through for you guys and you come to us because, the previous insurance company couldn't come through, we are, like I said, we work with over 30 carriers. So we have options. You know what I mean? For the most part. Worst case scenario, it would be a California Fair Plan, but I can honestly say that for us, like maybe less than 10% of the policies that we write.
All right, under the California Fair Plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that brings up, like, this big change that has happened in the last few years within the insurance industry.
So bad.
Where we have these fires and these catastrophes that are happening, and all of a sudden we have big companies like Allstate, or I'm not, maybe,
Allstate,
or State Farm,
Farmers, State Farm, they've all pulled out.
They exit California. I even had one of my policies that I've had with Allstate on one of my multi-unit properties, and they sent me a letter last year saying, hey, we're not going to continue. And it was a bummer for me, because the pricing was really good. I was paying like a really good price for somewhat of a commercial property, and so now I had to scramble, and my premiums went up as well. So it's a little disappointing to have to deal with that. Do you have any insight on where the future is going, and is there going to be some easing up? Are we going to see some of these insurance companies return?
Yes, they are, slowly but surely. They're all recovering from all of the claims that were made during the fires. It's been a crazy time with insurance right now. Not for us. Luckily for us, like I said, we have options. So companies that you're talking about, like Allstate, Farmers, Mercury, companies that you are familiar with and like that most people are familiar with, are admitted carriers. And they've pulled out because they've been oversaturated, and like the claims, has
exceeded what the
like they can't take any more properties right now. But luckily for us, the surplus market exists. And for those of you guys that don't know what that is, the surplus market is basically insurance carriers that don't have to ask the state for permission to change their rates, which makes them, which allows them to participate in the market now, and what also allows them to take higher risks.
So the premiums will reflect a little bit of that risk.
For the most part, yes. But to be quite honest, I have clients that come right now with like insurance companies that are admitted, and I do have some carriers that are surplus that beat them. So it just really depends. Like we, for the most part, can't compete. Gotcha. As far as price goes, yeah.
Yeah, I know, and that's really reminiscent in our industry. We have like our A-paper, Fannie, Freddie stuff, and then we have something called non-QM, and that's kind of bars that don't kind of conform to the normal standard guidelines.
Same thing.
So it sounds like it's the same thing.
Something very similar.
Yeah. So okay, awesome. So have you seen an easing lately in the pricing? Because I know the last time I've been checking, it's been a little, even on the auto industry, the auto policies have gone up as well.
Yes. Right? Yes. I think I could say maybe a little bit. Not so much. Right now, like an average auto policy right now, believe it or not, especially in LA, is like $2,000, 2,000 something, 2,500 maybe for 6 months.
Yes.
It's crazy. Yes. It's really expensive. It really is. So I don't know. I think it's going to get better from this point on. I do see that there are more carriers coming back to the market, but at this point, it's still a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, because I know with the in the housing market, some consumers have decided not even to buy, because that extra, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in the annual premium broken down into the payment. They're like, you know what? Now my mortgage payment is too much, and that compiled with the fact that interest rates are a little bit higher, kind of, I think it really puts a big sting.
It really does,
in the market, and people feel it, and so hopefully, I'm hoping with the rates coming down and maybe the insurance, is coming down to, that'll really, really bring some movement into the housing market, so that loan officers, we want to see more loans, we want to see more business, and I'm sure you want to see more insurance
Oh,
opportunities as
absolutely.
well. Yeah.
Yes. I want to help you.
Yes. Great. I mean, we've been talking about some great stuff. Uh, Goosehead. I mean, I love the name. It's different. I've never heard of it. Why not Duckhead? Why not,
I think I
Wolfhead?
know the story. I know
Okay,
the
let's hear the
story because
story
I was
because we got to hear
also
the
very
story.
curious about that. And what I learned was that the CEO had a niece, and he used to call her Silly Goose, and that evolved to Goosehead, and that's how he came up with the name.
He just said, "Hey, Goosehead."
Yeah,
I like that. That's
yeah,
a pretty cool story because I
yeah.
think we've all called someone silly goose at one point, right? Stop being a
Exactly.
silly goose,
Yeah,
right? I think it's almost an American phrase.
yeah.
Um, Other than that, what other things do you see in the horizon for insurance? Or I like the fact that you mentioned that the company started with helping real estate agents and brokers, and to me tells me that there's a strength in helping us in those areas, right? Is there technology or tools within your website that we have access to? Is there uh, things that you want to share with us about what
As
you guys are
far,
doing?
like I said, like I mentioned before, like the one technology that I think is something that Goosehead has that no other insurance company has or brokerage is the fact that we have that rating system, which is, before, and this is before my time, luckily, you had to go through every single carrier and quote through them, right, to see if they were going to approve or deny. So now we have this thing that breaks it down and says these are the carriers that are likely, and it doesn't really like if you get if they come up in the rating system, it doesn't mean that they're going to accept the risk, but they're likely to do it. So you're able to go in order like by the carriers that are, um, you know, like I said, more of a possibility of writing the policy, which helps us save time. That's one of the things. So one of the things that, and it's really funny because we have this saying at Goosehead is like, when you go with Goosehead as a lender, you're never going back, right? Because we are so fast. Like the number one review we get from all of our referral partners, realtors and lenders is that we are quick to respond. We have very strong communicating skills. Like we're gonna let you know, we're gonna give you updates without you calling me or checking up on me. I'm gonna let you know exactly where we are, what's going on with the underwriting, if we've received something from them or not, like when to expect it. You know what I mean? Like we communicate with you guys because we know how stressful these situations are, and that speed that's what you need,
Right.
right?
And you're okay with like communicating. Let's say we have a loan officer that, hey, I got this customer. I'm working on the insurance. I mean, working on the loan. Need you to help me with the insurance, and you start the communication with the customer and all that, and you can kind of guide the customer through the
Oh,
process.
100%. Yes. So one of the big things that we also believe in is not only helping the client get the best deal, but also educate them on their coverages, what it covers, when to call in, when to file a claim, because that's something that's actually huge, and I'll share that with you guys right now. Your insurance policy is only meant to be used under catastrophic events, right? So if you have a leak, a water leak, for example, and it's like $4,000, yeah, a lot of people will file a claim, and sometimes your deductible can be up to $2,000. So you're really just getting $2,000 from your insurance company, but then your rate that claim is going to follow you for the next 5 to 10 years, and that's going to affect your rate. And I'm not talking about just a couple of $100 here and there. No, it's substantial. Like I had a client who called. And and it was a big property. So like their insurance policy was like $10,000 for the year, but they filed a water claim. And after we ran reports, their insurance policy, the rate increased to 16,000. So yeah, and a lot of people don't know that you weren't supposed to call. Like if you have like something breaks or something happens, and it's a small thing, they don't know. They're like, oh, we have insurance. That's what it's for, but it's really not.
So you got to be careful. Like you got to think twice before you make a claim.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
and
why I would say call your insurance broker um, before you
before you
before you file a claim.
to see if it even makes sense, right?
Yes,
Because then you
exactly.
may not, you may gain the money now, but pay in the next two couple
Yeah,
3 years, you're going to lose all
yeah,
that back that you
yeah,
gained. So that makes total sense.
yeah.
And I think a lot of people already kind of sense that, like, hey, if I put a claim, I got to be careful because my
Not you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You have no.
A lot of
Like
people
there's so
not.
many people. No, I have a property right now actually, and she has a claim. She got paid out $1,000, and that's going to affect her rate. You
And
know
that
what I
was
mean?
it.
Yeah,
Oh my
and it's
god.
not like it's not like these people can't afford these things because she has a huge property. They could have afforded to pay that damage, but because they didn't know that they had insurance, they're like, that's what it's for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And Natalie, one of the things that I even struggle with, with insurance, there's a lot of paperwork, and and when you start looking at a policy, you see the different types of coverage and the percentage, and and certain areas that are not covered and covered. Do you help people navigate and walk through
Of
all that?
course, yes. So one thing that we are very that we won't do is we won't send you a quote and let you just move on. When we have clients, we always get them on the phone and go over all of the coverages and explain exactly what they're for. And I'm like, does that make sense? Do you understand what that means? Right? Yes. So, like I said, educating our clients is extremely important for us.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, I guess the deductible, right, plays a huge part in
Mm-hmm.
what the premium is going to be. The higher the
The
deductible,
lower
the
the rate.
lower the
Yes.
premium. If someone, decides in the beginning that they want a lower premium, or I mean a
A higher
higher deductible, but then want a lower one later on, is that changes that
Of
skin?
course.
Okay.
Yeah. There's you can, for the most part, you can change anything about your policy throughout the year or whenever. You know what I mean? Like if yeah, like specifically with your deductible, like if for some reason your rate went up and then we reshop you and we couldn't find something that's better, then we look at your actual policy. Okay, where can we cut corners, right? Um, we do our best to keep you covered and not sacrifice anything. Like we will never just be like, okay, don't get coverage for this so that your rate goes lower. Like we'll bend the rules a little bit, but we'll never break them, if that makes sense. Because
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, of course.
at the end of the day, we still want to be responsible and make sure that you have the right coverage.
Yeah,
We
because
don't want you to be underinsured. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. When the goes down,
Exactly,
you
because
don't want to
then
be underinsured.
I don't want to get any phone calls.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that it happened right now with as an example with the Altadena fires. A lot of people were either underinsured or didn't even have insurance, so it
Yeah.
put them in a really
You'd be
bad situation.
surprised. Yeah, I get a lot of clients, that have been shopping around. And so I'm like, hey, send me your quote so that I can review. Because one thing that we also do for our clients is I'm never going to take your business if there's something better out there for you. For example, if you have a quote from an admitted company and I have a quote from a surplus company, I'm going to recommend that you go with the admitted company, right? If you have a quote, let's say, the only thing that I want to make sure of, and I always ask my clients, I'm like, give me the opportunity to do this for you. Like, I want to compare apples to apples. So I want to make sure that that I'm competing with the same coverages, the same deductibles, things like that, right? Because sometimes they're like, oh, I got a quote and it's like $5,000 and your quote's like $10,000. And then I look at the quote, I'm like, well, yeah, like you're underinsured. You don't have liability. You don't have water backup coverage. Like those things are important. And unless and sometimes we do that too, like when it comes, because some clients are price focused. So that's another thing that we cater to, like coverage focus or price focus. It really just depends. But even if you are price focused, like we're never going to underinsure you. You're never going to be underinsured, right?
That's awesome. That's good
Yeah.
to know. So we're in good hands.
Yes,
I guess we're
absolutely.
in great
Yes,
hands.
yes.
So there you have it. I think we're starting to wrap things up here. We haven't even taken a sip of our cocktail.
I mean, I have.
This is cocktail hour with Natalie and our first episode. So let me have a little swig here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Delicious.
Now you asked earlier with this fishbowl here with these papers.
They didn't want to tell me.
Yeah, but it's actually our mystery questions, and only the really daring and crazy and out of their mind people decide to actually want to explore that. Do you want to explore that?
Of course.
I had a feeling you were going to
say
say. So you're going to grab one, you're going to hand it to me, and I'm going to read the question.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And don't worry, they're not too
Too
bad.
crazy.
I already talked to Abigail, and I made sure that she made them pretty uncomfortable. All right. If you could relive one moment in your life, which moment would it be?
Oh gosh, that's such an amazing person. And you know what's interesting? The first thought that comes to mind is after not going back, I'm Bolivian. I was born in Bolivia.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and my dad is from a village in the middle of the Amazon jungle called Las Petas. And I left Bolivia when I was 7. I did not go back until I was 19. And I went back to my dad's farm that's in the jungle. And one moment that I cannot get rid of in my mind is I love hammocks. I grew up when I was little, in hammocks 24/7. And my dad has this hammock that's hanging on this huge tree. And so in the middle of the jungle, so nothing around. Can you just manage just jungle around you? And there was a flock of macaws right above me. And there was
Oh,
like
wow.
50 macaws. And that moment, I would relive that a million times if possible.
Oh, wow. Okay. That you answered that pretty quick without
Yeah.
hesitation.
It
So
came
that must
to
have
my- yeah.
that must have been
It was like, "Ching!"
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you still carry that with you.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much. I think you were an amazing guest, and I
Thank you,
hope
thank you.
we're going to share all of your information on the posting or on the podcast so the loan officers can search and find you. Also, but if you want to just, quickly say your phone
Sure.
number or something so that they can get a hold of
Absolutely.
you and you could look into the camera.
One of the last things that I wanted to say that I forgot to mention is that one of the qualities that Goosehead has also is that we can help you find coverage for high risk properties. So if it's
Oh.
high fire risk, coastal areas, properties that have past claims, we have options for you.
Oh, that's good to know. A lot of
Yes.
people are struggling in those areas right now.
Yes, exactly. And yes, please call me. My phone number is 818-396-1994. And again, if you're a lender and you want to, have no interaction or somewhat limit the interaction because I know that you're busy, go to lowquote.com, LOQUOTE.com, and fill that out and just make sure to click my name.
Okay.
Look for
Yeah,
my
we want to
name.
make sure we
Nathalie
get your name.
Molina.
Yeah, we don't
Nathalie
want to get
Molina,
another
yes.
Goosehead agent, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all great. They're all great. So it doesn't matter where you end up, you're going to be taken care of. But let it be me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
this cocktail hour. Hopefully, you guys got your cocktail. I know we got our cocktails. Cheers. I didn't
I'm
finish
done.
mine. I didn't even realize it. I was trying to be a good boy here, but let me catch up here.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you in the next episode of Cocktail Hour.
Thank you for having me.